Hello and welcome back to my podcast. This is the cash flow quadrant. Last time we spoke about the Rich Dad Poor Dad, the first book of the series by Robert T. Kiyosaki. Now, Rich Dad Poor Dad is a book that introduces you to concepts about money, paying yourself first, how to think about money, and so on. The story of Robert T. Kiyosaki, that he had two dads, one of them was rich and one of them was poor, and the mentality that you learn from this book is the greatest thing. For example, his real dad, when he used to ask him how can we afford something or how can we buy something, his dad used to tell him, no, we cannot afford it. But his rich dad told him, never say we can't afford it, because when you say I can't afford it, you immediately shut your mind off and you don't have other ways to get it. Instead, you should say, how can I afford it? Which opens a lot of possibilities. Now, this book, in my opinion, is better. That's, the book that has made the biggest shift of my career, the cash flow quadrant. It's really simple, and the concepts of this book might change your life. So there are 4 ways that people get paid in life, right? Imagine a piece of paper, and you just divide it into 4 corners or 4 quadrants. The first one on the top left is the E, the employee, and one underneath it is the S, small business owner or self-employed, and the third one is B, big business, and underneath it is the I, the investor. So the quadrants are the people getting money from these parts. For example, the first quadrant, as we said, is the E, the employee. You hear these people, just a person who wants to climb the corporate ladder, who wants to have steady paycheck, secure job, want to get a promotion, and so on. Underneath it, the S, the small business owner or self-employed, a person who wants the freedom, who doesn't want to have a boss, wants to work from his own or her own, house, maybe working by their skills. Their salary is determined by their own skills. They're not determined by a boss or manager or whatever. And then you got the big business owner, the person who wants the freedom, who wants to hire people to work for them, to have system, to have passive income, to generate cash flow. And the last guy is the investor, also wants freedom, and he uses the money to invest in a lot of things like real estate and so on. So these are the quadrants, the 4 parts that people can get paid from, right? So you have another concept, which is OPT and OPM. OPT is other people's time, and OPM is other people's money. Now, the concept of the book tells you, if you want to be financially free, you have to move onto the right side of the quadrant, the B and the I, the big business and the investor. Because as long as you are on the E, the employee, and the S, the small business owner, you still have to work for money. You don't have passive income. You don't have system working for you. You still have a cap on your salary. You still, work for money, and money is not working for you. So you hear the people on the left side of the quadrant saying, all I want is just to get a paycheck. I want to have a raise. But on the right side, people want to hire people from the left side to work for them. People smarter than them. There are also pros and cons for each and every quadrant. The first quadrant, the E quadrant, can provide health insurance and system that is working. You are not inventing the wheel. But cons, that your salary is only generating when you are working. When you stop working, you don't have passive income, and there is a limit on your salary determined by the boss and the company. And if you lost your job, you will be in financial troubles, right? Moving on to the S quadrant. Again, the pros for that is that you are self-employed. You don't work for anyone. You can work whatever you want, whenever you want, and wherever you want. And you can determine your salary. No one is determining it. But this is probably the most difficult quadrant, because you are the one who is responsible for yourself. You provide for yourself. You put the system, and you have to hustle, as they say in this quadrant. You are the most pressured in this quadrant. Moving on to the big business, the B quadrant. Pros, you can leverage. You are going to hear this word a lot. Leverage is to use other people's time and other people's money to work for you, and you can use tax deductions and so on. The cons, that you have to learn a lot of skills that are not in each quadrant, that you did not learn at school. You have to learn marketing and sales and entrepreneurship and leadership and public speaking and the taxes. You have to understand a lot of things, and you have to work even harder than the S guy, but it's not for long. And the last guy, the investor, again, you can use other people's times and money, and you are the guy that generates the most amount of money. But also there's a risk, just like in the S and the B and the I quadrants, there's risk. But if you look at all of them, actually there is risk. In fact, the risk at the left side, where you are an employee, if you are working for a company that does not have insurance and you got sick or whatever, you don't have anything, right? You are just a couple of months away from bankruptcy. So the thing is, the problem with each and every quadrant is addiction. Whenever you get money from any quadrant, you feel like this is the one that provides for me. This is the one that I need. Your brain gets used to. If you are always an employee, it's difficult for someone to tell you, hey, let's make a project together, man, and just do a side hustle, whatever. Your mind is like, no, I'm used to this. This is secure. This is safe. My family is used to it, and I like it, and I have colleagues and so on. And the other guys, the investor is risky, and the business and so on. So you have to, in order for you to move on to the right side, which is a very important point of the book, if you want to be financially free, you have to move to the B and I quadrant. And in order for you to move, in fact, you can, you see a lot of people who just moved to their financial freedom and having a business, moved in all the quadrants. Many people they started as employees, and then they worked on their own, starting small business, and then they grew that business, they scaled that business, they became big business owners, and then they did investments. Almost 90% of the millionaires are investing in real estate. So you need different skills to move on from a quadrant to the other one. You need to read and educate yourself on entrepreneurship and risk and negotiation, and many skills that a business owner, an investor needs. And the last thing is about investing. Robert Kiyosaki said there are 5 levels of investors. Very simple. He just uses very simple language. He said the first level is the zero financial intelligent level. This guy does not know anything about investing. That does not even invest. Just lives paycheck to paycheck. Does not pay themselves first. Does not have any concept of money and so on. The second guy is the save it, or the savers are losers. This is a guy who just likes to save most of their money, and they are better than 50%. They save their money, but because of the recession and the inflation, the value of the money decreases. It does not increase. When you keep that money, you've kind of like lose it. The money loses its value. And the third guy is the I'm too busy level. This is the guy that makes other people invest for them. They never learn how is investing, how does it happen, and they waste a lot of chance. This is why they say it's risky. But no, it's arrogant, it's ignorant. When you don't know how to invest, now it's risky. The fourth level is the I am a professional level. This is the guy who educate themselves. They read something like The Intelligent Investor, Common Sense Investing, Real Estate Investing. There are tons of books on investing, things from Warren Buffett and others. This is the guy who understands that in order for you to move, you have to educate yourself how to jump from a quadrant to the other one. And the last one is the capitalist level. This is the highest level. This is the guy who makes the big bucks, as they say, who uses and leverages other people's times and other people's money. And you see a great example is Warren Buffett, the world's richest investor. Now, this book had the biggest impact on me because I looked at myself, well, I am I'm an employee. I work as a teacher. Now, how can I move on from being an E, working for a school or a company that teaches the language, How can I move to become an S? How can I become self-employed? Can I teach online? Can I work on my own? Can I make a course and sell that course? Can I make seminars and teach the language and work on my own? And I'm actually at this level right now. And after doing this on my own, the next stage for me is to start a business. And, starting a business is not that big of a deal. You can have a business plan, very simple. You can have a service or a product. It's very doable. And the last thing, once you have figured how to run that business, you can move on into the investment or the I quadrant. And there are a lot of books that tell you also how to move on easily through these quadrants, and inshallah maybe I will get to them in the future. Thank you. I hope that you enjoyed this book. If you do, make sure to like and comment and share and all this beautiful stuff. Thank you very much, and I will see you soon.